My dear friend, today we have new topic. Today topic is the Pratyahara. Pratyahara, who ruled over Kannauj for a long time, are also called Gujjara Pratyahara. Most scholars consider that they originated from the Gujjara who were pastoralists and fighters like the Jats. The Pratyahara established a series of principalities in central and eastern Rajasthan. They clashed with the Rashtrakuta for control of Malwa and Gujarat, and later of Kannauj, which implied control of Upper Ganga Valley. The Pratyahara, who first had their capital at Benimal, gained prominence under the Nagbhatta first, who offers sought resistance to the Arab rulers of Sindh who were trying to encroach on Rajasthan, Gujarat, the Punjab, etc. The Arab made a big thrust towards Gujarat, but they were decisively defeated by the Chalukya rulers of the Gujarat in 1738. Although small Arab incursion continued to the Arabs ceased to be threat thereafter. The efforts of the early Pratyahara ruler to extend their control over the Upper Ganga Valley and Malwa were defeated by the Rashtrakuta ruler Dhruva and Gopala III in 1970 and again 806 to 807. The Rashtrakuta defeated the Pratyahara and then withdrew to the Deccans, leaving the field free for the Palas. Perhaps the main interest of the Rashtrakuta was dominated for Malwa and Gujarat. The real founder of the Pratyahara empires and the greatest ruler of the dynasty was the Bhuja, who do not know how much about the early lives of Bhuja. When we ascended the thrones, he rebuilt the empires and by about the AD 836, he had recovered Kannauj which remained the capital of Pratyahara empires for almost a century. Bhuja tried to extend his sway in the east, but he was defeated and checkmated by the Pala ruler Devpala. He then turned towards the central India and the Deccans and the Gujarat. This led to the rivals of the struggles with the Rashtrakuta. In the sanguinary battles on the bank of the Narmada, Bhuja was able to retain his control over the considerable part of Malwa and some part of the Gujarat. But he could progress no further in the Deccans. Hence, he turned his attention to the north again. According to the inscriptions, his territory extends to the western sides of the river Satluj. Arab traveler tells us that the Pratyahara rule had the best cavalry in India. Import of horses from the Central Asia and Arabia was the important item of the India trade at the times. Following the death of the Devpala and the weakening of the Pala empires, Bhuja also extended his empires in the east. The name of the Bhoja is famous in legends. Perhaps the adventures of the Bhoja in the early parts of his life, his gradual conquest of his lost empires, and his final recovery of the Kannauj stuck in the imaginations of his contemporary. Bhoja was devotee of Vishnu and adopted the title of the Adivaraha, which has been found inscription in some of his coins. He is sometimes called Mahir Bhoja to distinguish him from the Bhoja Parmara of Ujjain who ruled a little later. Bhoja probably died in about 885. He was succeeded by his son Mahendrapala first. Mahendrapala, who ruled till about 908 to 909, maintained the empires of Bhoja and extended it over Magadha and North Bengal. His inscription has also been found in the Kathiawar, East Punjab and Awadh. Mahendrapala fought a battle with the king of the Kashmirs but had to yield to his some of the territory in Punjab's win by the Puja. The Pratyahara thus dominated North India for over the hundreds of years, from the early 9th to the middle of the 10th century. Al Masudi, a native of Baghdad who visited Gujarat in 915 to 16, testify the great power and the prestige of the Pratyahara rulers and the vastness of their empires. He calls the Gujjara Pratyahara kingdom Al Jajar, a corrupt from the Gujjara. And the king's Bhura, probably a mispronunciation of the Adivaraha, the title used by the Bhoja, although Bhoja had died by that time. Al-Masadi say that the emperor of Jojar had 1,80,000 villages, city and rural area and was about 200 km in length and 200 km in breadth. The king army had 4 divisions, each consisting of 7 lakh to 9 lakh men. With the army of the north, he fight against the ruler of Multans and the other Muslims who aligned themselves within him. The army of the south fought against the Rashtrakuta and that of the east against the Pala. He had only 200 elephants trained for war, but the best cavalry of any kings in the country. The Pratyahara were patron of learning and literature. The great Sanskrit poet and dramist Raja Sekhar lived at the court of the Mahipala, a grandson of Bhoja. The Pratyahara also embellished Kannauj with many fine buildings and temples. During the 8th and 9th century, many Indian scholars went with embassies to the courts of the Khalifa at Baghdad. These scholars introduced Indian science, especially mathematics, algebra, and medicines, to the Arab world. We do not know the names of the Indian kings who sent these embassies. The Pratyahara were well known for their hostility to the Arabs ruler of Sindh. Despite this, it seems that movement of the scholars and goods between India and West Asia continue even during this period. Between 915 to 918, the Rashtrakuta kings Indra III again attacked Kannauj and devastated the city. This weakened the Pratyahara empires, and Gujarat probably passed into the hand of the Rashtrakuta. For Almosadhi tells us the Pratyahara empires had no access to the sea. The loss of Gujarat, which was hub of the overseas trade and main outlet for the North Indians goods to the West Asian country, was another blow to the Pratyahara. Another Rashtrakuta ruler, Krishna III, invaded North India in about 963 and defeated the Pratyahara rulers. This was followed by the rapid dissolution of the Pratyahara empires. Thank you so much.